Greetings from sunny Florida. My name is David Ronsen with Acela Truck Company, and today we're going to do a walk around of our Monterra flood rescue truck. Thought we'd start with the chassis and the cab. This is an Acela Monterra, formerly a medium tactical vehicle with the U.S. Army. Acela specializes in completely refurbishing from the frame rails up medium tactical vehicles that come from the U.S. Army. So our process, all of the vehicles in our shop enter into our mechanic shop. They get brought up to a mechanically sound and warrantyable condition. We also upgrade some pretty major systems in the truck. The charging system is completely removed and replaced with all brand new re-engineered components. The cab tilt and tire tilt systems, the hydraulic system of the truck is also gutted and completely replaced with a modern and more safe system. And then we go through and change all the fluids. We rebuild all the axles and make any repairs to the truck. All of our trucks are sold with a 1-year bumper-to-bumper parts and labor warranty. We also upgrade the bumpers, install LED, DOT, FMVSS compliant lighting. This particular chassis or truck was sold to Seminole County, Florida Fire Department as a flood rescue truck. So you can see it's got all of the NFPA compliant warning lighting on it. This one's got a winch option. It's got a driving light option. We can walk around the truck. It's also got an MSHA compliant safety steps, which they opted for. 46-inch tires. This truck also has central tire inflation system. So at the push of a button, the driver can control the tire pressure throughout all of the tires on the truck. Those push buttons are preset. So we can take these tires from 95 PSI in highway mode, all the way down to 17 PSI in mud, sand, snow mode. And what that does is it changes your tire footprint from about 1 foot by 1 foot to about 1 foot by 2 foot. So you multiply that times 3 tires on each side, and you really start mimicking a tracked vehicle. This truck can drive through just about anything: snow, mud, sugar sand, sand dunes, beaches. It is very, very, very difficult to stick this truck in just about anything. This truck, they also opted for our high water kit. So the air intake or exhaust for your axles, your quick release valves, your central tire inflation system, transmission, fuel tank is actually right up here. So we rate this truck to water fording to 50 inches. So just about here. The original Army units can only ford about 30 inches of water. So if your department has a surplus FMTV, if you're exceeding 30 some inches of water, you are absolutely filling your differentials, your transmission, and other components with water every time you go into flood. So moving on, Seminole County also hired us to build our the Acela version of our flood rescue body. So a number of very unique attributes to our body. Number one is we built a staircase into the body. There are other companies out there that work with and without our chassis that are starting to sell flood rescue trucks. A lot of them only have ladders, or they only have lift gates to get in. So it really does slow down the ingress, egress, the rescue process. If somebody who's able-bodied is able to walk up the stairs, then they can just walk up the stairs. You don't have to deploy anything. Want to go inside? Yeah, follow me. Here we are inside of our flood rescue body. So Removable canopy. What else do we have? Fold down seating all around. This particular truck was also sold with a 650-gallon slip-on unit. So all they need to do is slip up the seats secure with these straps, and then they can put their slip-on unit right in the back of the unit. This truck is also equipped with wheelchair tie downs. So you can see right here, there's 4 anchor points, and those anchor points hold these wheelchair tie downs. So you can safely deploy wheelchairs from one place to another. We can do multiple wheelchairs as well. And this bed also has 2,500 pound rated tie downs in the corners and on the sides. Interior lighting and staircase lighting as well. All of our lighting is LED. We take a lot of pride in our electrical work. Don't have very many electrical problems at all. The other thing we did with this particular truck, with the slip-on unit, is we gave them a quick disconnect. So when they do load their slip-on unit, they just plug right into there, and their batteries are charged.
Well, the legs show that that's going.
Also, the legs. The legs do fold in when they're stowed. All right, staircase is blocked with an OSHA and NFPA compliant man gate, so nobody can fall out. And then in the rear, we also have a rail system. This rail system can be removed by simply lifting these pieces out of the truck. So if, for instance, you're converting it to a wildland brush truck, all you gotta do is lift up on these. They fall into pockets on the floor and leave them at the station, basically. Also, OSHA and NFPA compliant man gate on the rear. And then a roll down rear curtain. Good. So the body is an all aluminum design. So really no issue with corrosion whatsoever. Again, NFPA compliant lighting package everywhere, all LED. The package Seminole County went with is a Tomar package. We also offer wheeling and pretty much anything else you want. Those are the 2 that we use primarily. This truck's equipped with a 3,000-pound liftgate with an oversized platform. So it's a tuck-away liftgate. It's in the stowed position. It stows completely in a package underneath the truck. Doesn't stick out past here. So this is the actual rear of the truck. Got a nice chevron package on the back as well. Like I said, 3,000-pound capacity. It could be controlled from here, or it could be controlled from inside the bed. Got a 55-gallon fuel tank with our high water kit. We put a non-breathable cap on the fuel tank, and then we have a breather tube on the fuel tank that goes up to the manifold that you saw on camera earlier. Also with our flood rescue trucks, the standard chassis has an exhaust, a tailpipe that comes out on the driver's side, forward of the rear axle or the intermediate axle. So what we do is convert it to a vertical exhaust, and that keeps the exhaust out of the water and it keeps the exhaust out of the passenger compartment. So you won't see a spare tire on this particular truck. This is controls for the upgraded cab tilt. So we incorporate an electric over hydraulic motor to do the cab tilt. Push up, cab goes up, push down, the cab goes down. I won't do that now because I don't know if there's anything loose in the cab and I don't want anything flying through the windshield. That's important. And cab interior, quite a bit different than what you find in a military truck. I can swing around that other side. I do like seeing the fire department customization. So the entire interior of the truck is completely redone. It's insulated heavily for sound and also for heat. We have an oversized HVAC system, which will freeze you out in the summer and melt you in the winter. Very powerful. Again, this department opted for Tomar lighting package, so that includes a very simple siren control system, PA, and this also controls our seed lighting as well. New instrument panel, all new switches, new steering wheel.
Center seat.
Yes, everything inside the cab for the most part is brand new. So you can see the commercial trim throughout. And then all new seating. Driver and passenger seat are both air ride. And then the center seat is not air ride. We don't have the space to put the air ride. 3-point seat belts in all positions. And then down by your feet is something interesting if you get close on there. So all of the auxiliary electrical that we add to the truck, we add our own harness. It's all color coded. So if there is any sort of diagnostics that needs to be done, troubleshooting with any sort of electrical problem, our wiring is completely disengaged from the factory one. So by pulling fuses in this box right here, we're able to determine very, very quickly if we're dealing with an Acela problem or dealing with an OEM problem. Underneath this panel is our power distribution panel. All of those are replaced with brand new as well.
Power distribution, axle.
Hmm?
We talk about the axles and the power.
Oh yeah, sure. So these trucks are pretty unique. We are really the only remanufacturer of a high mobility truck in the United States that offers a warranty on their product. We believe that these trucks really are better than factory new when they leave our facility. Generally, the trucks that we get have fewer than about 12,000 miles on them and about 1,000 hours. So they really are very, very low mile, low hour trucks. The biggest problem that we have with the trucks is that they've been sitting for so long. Trucks in general do not like to sit. Seals, bearings, they like to move around. They like to be lubricated. And that's why what I explained at the beginning, the first stop for these trucks is our mechanic shop, where they will determine very quickly if the donor truck is a candidate for rebuild or if it's going to wash out of the program and become a parts truck, essentially. So some of the unique attributes that make the truck so capable, one is the 46-inch tires. Two is the central tire inflation system. Those two things alone make this truck stand out amongst any other It's also full-time for 4x4 or 6x6. What that means is the transfer case is constantly putting power to the forward and rear axle of a 4x4 or the forward and intermediate axle of a 6x6. The power distribution is 30% up front and 70% to the rear. And what that does is it makes a very, very, very nice highway driving truck. You could drive this truck with one finger on the steering wheel, doing 74 miles an hour down a highway. The truck does not drift. It does not move around. It does not hop. It does not wobble. It drives like a commercial truck doing 74 miles. When you get into an off-road sort of situation, there's a button on the transmission. The button says mode. For any firefighters out there, usually mode on a piece of firefighting apparatus means it gives you the opportunity to override your max speed. Our mode is the complete opposite. We call it 4x4. And so what it does is it transfers that 70-30 power split to 50-50. So now you've got your front axle is pulling the truck and your rear axle is pushing the truck. It makes it incredibly capable off-road. The other thing that mode enables you to do is access your first gear. So when you're in drive, you're only accessing gears 2 through 7. When you're in mode, you can use the up-down arrow keys to select whatever gear that you want. So you can actually select first gear, your granny gear, and it is extraordinarily low. You can literally climb a hill and walk next to the truck. It's very, very low. So now you've got the combination of 46-inch tires, CTIS, a locker in the rear axle is standard. I'll talk about that in a second. And you've got a granny gear, and you've got a 50-50 torque split coming out of your transfer case. The 6x6 is a little unique in that your rearmost axle in drive is really just a tag axle. It's just taking weight, but it's not a drive axle. So the other thing that mode does in a 6x6 truck is it locks the intermediate axle with the rearmost axle. Standard locker configuration on a Montera is the rearmost axle has your locker. Your intermediate does not, although it's an option to get both. So when you press mode on a 6x6, not only are you locking your two rear axles together, but now you're also activating your rear locker. So extraordinarily capable truck. These things are really unstoppable in almost any sand, sugar sand, mud, snow, beach, sand dune configuration. I mean, just about anything that you can throw on. You're going to be hard pressed to stop one of those trucks. Power plant is a 330 horse Cat 3126 or Cat C7. And yes, I said Cat. These are pre-emission trucks. There's no emissions equipment on them whatsoever. So there's no DEF to deal with, no DEF system at all. Mated to an Allison 3000 series heavy duty transmission with an integrated Meritor transfer case. The engine, transmission, the entire drivetrain is commercial off the shelf. There's nothing military about it. So all of the parts, all of the components are readily commercially available. The only parts that are really proprietary to Acela are cab components, some of the, I guess the hydraulic tilt system, some components might be proprietary to us, but these are all parts that are in stock. So it's really cab components. It's door handles and dash switches and things like that. Things that very rarely have any sort of issues. And then the axles are all Meritor R611 axles. So those parts are all also commercially available. Usually it's easiest to get them through us. We stock all of that. Yeah. So any other questions?
Did you talk about the alternator grade?
The alternator, yeah. So the original trucks came with a dual voltage alternator with a separate regulator and what they call a load LB load battery control device, and an anti load reverse device, and a series of circuit breakers. None of those components are super reliable in and of themselves, and we were seeing huge failure rates. Our cost on a new alternator, replacement alternator, was about $6,000. So what we've done is we've completely redesigned the charging system. We've got a least Neville 24-volt alternator. I believe it's 280 horsepower. And then we've got a military grade converter that converts our 24 volts to 12 volts. So we're able to maintain a dual voltage system. The reason for that is that every NATO country must be able to jump from truck to truck 24 volt to 24 volt. So our starter is 24 volts. That's pretty much the only thing in the truck that's 24 volts. All of our lights, everything else is 12 volt. So that system is 100% reliable. We've never had an issue with it whatsoever. And then the hydraulic tilt system, which for us controls our tire tilt. This truck didn't have one, but typically a tire weighs, I think, 350 pounds with the wheel, and you can get that from its mounting rack to the ground by pushing a button, to maneuver anything. It's quite nice. And then the cab tilt. The original system was an air over hydraulic system. It also had a 100% failure rate. We were tired of chasing down all of these problems constantly, and we just said, hey, why don't we do what's in every modern cab over truck like fire trucks today? And so we designed an electric over hydraulic motor. We replaced the cylinders with safety cylinders. So if the cab, for instance, is halfway tilted up and a hose were to break, the cab can't come crashing down. Same with the tire. So really a very reliable system. I think I've covered everything. It's roasty here in Florida.
Okay,
Hope all my makeup's not coming on.
doing great. All right. Thanks everybody for joining.
Thank you.